As I'm recording this video, we are less than 2 hours away from the inauguration of our first convicted felon insurrectionist president. And as I often do, I'm wondering what the rest of the world must think of us. And I think we have a pretty good idea what the rest of the world thinks of us. I mean, we see some of the things they say about us, and they're all well-deserved. We have become an absolute joke of a country. And I was really thinking about this last night when I saw clips of Donald Trump's cult rally. And I saw this clip, I saw several clips, all disturbing. But there's one clip of Donald Trump dancing with the Village People really kind of stuck with me. Because I saw that and I'm thinking, what the hell has our country become? Here's this orange-painted buffoon up on stage, making an absolute ass of himself. And if this were a sane country, this man would be mocked into oblivion. But instead, he's applauded. And so you see this spectacle of Donald Trump up there on stage with the Village People. They're singing YMCA. Donald Trump is sort of in the middle, behind them. You know, and he's back there doing his little double-fisted jerk-off dance. Just an absolute clown. And I'm thinking, this man, in just a matter of hours, is going to be president of the United States. What the hell? What a joke of a nation we are. What the hell does the rest of the world think of this? And I thought about that ridiculous scene juxtaposed against something that happened earlier in the day. Because on the one hand, you have Donald Trump, who's this absolute clownish buffoon of a person, while at the same time, he is an authoritarian, fascist, wannabe dictator thug. And earlier in the day, we saw that ridiculous stunt with TikTok, banning TikTok. You know, TikTok takes themselves down voluntarily, even before, on Saturday night before the ban even goes into effect. And just 12 hours later, they put themselves back up and they praise Donald Trump for saving them. And, in the post that Donald Trump put up on Truth Social, saying that he was going to issue an executive order putting the TikTok ban on hold for a period of time, and it was that post ostensibly that caused TikTok to decide to, put their services back online, which of course is a lie. The whole thing was orchestrated. It was a friggin' con job from beginning to end. Anyway, in that post from Trump, he said that he wants the United States federal government to take an ownership interest in TikTok, a 50% ownership interest in TikTok, so that the federal government of the United States, with Donald Trump in control, will have control over the world's largest social media platform, or at least the U.S. portion of it. And if you can't understand how dangerous that is and what a fascist power grab that is, then you need to wake up and wake up fast. Because we know from history that when these dictator types come to power, the first thing that they want to do is get control of the means of communication. They want to take control of the media. They want to be able to control what the people hear and know and what information they have access to. And for those of you who think that TikTok is just a kid's app with dance videos and stuff, you're wrong. It's much, much more than that. 170 million Americans use TikTok. Many millions, and we know this from survey data, get all of their news and information from TikTok. And many people get a lot of their news and information from TikTok, many more. It is a it is a big deal. And here you have Donald Trump wanting to control it, the federal government to control it. You know, the First Amendment is supposed to protect us from government control over our speech, over the information we have. That was the whole purpose, to protect the freedom of speech so that we can talk to each other and inform each other about what the hell's going on. That's what the freedom of press is all about, so that the press can freely report on news and information to keep the people informed, because you can't sustain a democracy without an informed electorate. That's why we have the First Amendment, to protect that, to guarantee that. And it's to protect us from the government suppressing speech and controlling the press. That's the whole purpose of it. And here we have Donald Trump wanting the government to control the media. And it's not just TikTok. We see him doing it with mainstream media outlets. And he doesn't have to take an ownership interest in them to control them to a great degree. He's already doing it. I mean, one by one, we have them bending the knee. We have, like ABC, literally paying Donald Trump off, bowing down to him and paying him off under the guise of settling a lawsuit that ABC would have won without even having gone to trial. This thing would have been thrown out at summary judgment. And yet they settled it just so that they can have an excuse to pay him $16 million to get on his good side. And now CBS, I don't know if you heard about this, CBS is doing the exact same thing. You know, Donald Trump filed a ridiculous multi-billion-dollar lawsuit against CBS because he didn't like the interview that 60 Minutes did with Kamala Harris during the campaign. That lawsuit is even more bogus than the ABC lawsuit. There is zero chance whatsoever that Trump could have won that lawsuit. And yet now it's being reported that CBS is considering settling that lawsuit as well. And we know why, for the same reason that ABC did, to pay him off. And maybe that was the reason for filing those lawsuits in the first place, so that once he got elected, he could strong-arm them into settling and giving him big money. But whatever. We know now that the media are not going to report accurately on him for fear and whatever other reasons they have. So he's controlling these mainstream media outlets even without having to take them over. But here he is now openly talking about taking over, the federal government taking over, so that Donald Trump can control what information is allowed to be shared on TikTok. This is some dangerous shit. So we have those two pictures. The one of a dancing freaking clown on stage, a man who should just be the subject of endless mockery. Yet at the same time, he is a full-on fascist authoritarian who is consolidating power. This is dangerous stuff.